All right, we'll be reacting to Mortal Kombat 1, Omni Man. I'm gonna be breaking it down, observing some things, and seeing if my boy broke. I heard I don't know how many videos people saying he broke, so I gotta see it for my own two eyes. You feel me? So we're gonna get right into it. We can waste no more time.
All right, we're going to walk through now how Omni-Man with the cameo of Tremor plays.
All right, let's go. So, Omni-Man is a very simple character to describe. He is a powerhouse brawler that has super speed. It's kind of interesting. We've had a lot of characters who are really fast. We've had a lot of characters that are super strong, and he kind of combines them in pretty neat, interesting ways. So let's check him out.
I
Go
can't
over
wait.
his normals first. They are pretty straightforward. He punches, and he punches really hard.
All the punching. All the
Quick little analysis piece. I'm just noticing just for. They said fast and strong. They said we had some fast characters and we had some strong characters. Now we got fast and strong. You know what I'm saying? We put the list together as it go along, but fast and strong already sound kind of suspect. But peep that when Omni-Man is swinging, he's coming towards you. So that's already kind of like a red flag. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep watching.
Yeah.
punching.
He's
Throwing the
got-
haymakers.
That's exactly right. This is not a martial artist. You know, he is not. There's not a lot of finesse here.
Right.
One of the first moves I'd like to show is his forward four, which is like
Okay.
his pretty good advancing mid.
Blow it up.
Sends you down.
Okay.
A lot of his moves are high, so this is kind of one you want to use when you want to go mid.
Blam.
Another
Is
really
that a
good-
string right there?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. At the end is just a 1+3 input.
You know I love them.
Right. Another really good mid up close is his back one, and it has two options. Back 1-1 pops them up, and back 1-2.
Okay, Pete. They're talking about back 1-2, back 1-1. One of them basically knocks him down in front of him. The other one knocks you completely away. So he can control where you get up after he connects. That's kind of tough. Ain't gonna lie. So Zero got that. I like that.
Is mid and is safer.
I really hope he's got some cool air combos, but we'll have to
He got a
wait.
cape. He got cool
I'm
hair
sure
combos.
we'll see. He also has some really interesting mix-ups to open up the opponent.
Okay.
Like, for example, his sweep is pretty unique because he drops down and does extra damage
Because he's that fast.
because
He's that fast. Okay.
What a show off.
He also has forward 3 where he literally just stomps the ground and creates an earthquake.
So strong.
And then I think this is one of his coolest moves. He has an awesome long-range overhead where he zips across the
What?
screen super fast, and he's up close, he'll zip behind you
Oh.
and knock you down.
And that's just a button.
Yeah, it's
Okay. I like that move. It reminds me of Johnny Cage's shadow kick. How he kicks you and it goes towards you. I'm just hoping he doesn't have another move that looks just like that. That's my only thing. Cause like it looks great, but if I can if that's just only the way to get in with like a real quick punch, you know what I'm saying? I might be ready for it. But that's kind of interesting. He just if he's close to you, he's behind you, which means you might miss. Like that's kind of crazy.
just forward 2.
What?
And you can see it has really good range.
He does.
That's all I'm gonna need. That's it.
Yeah, you can mix that up with the sweep.
Oh, he keep
Loves
going?
Putting people's faces
That's a
on the
launcher.
ground.
Yeah, he's a strong guy.
He could probably keep
So
going.
let's go over his special moves. Great.
Yeah.
One unique thing about Omni-Man is he actually has a lot of aerial mobility. All of his special moves can be done in the air. He has ground
Okay.
and air versions of all of them, which is pretty unique to MK. First one I'd like to show is the Mega Clap. Puts his hands together. It's not patty cake, it's the Mega Clap. Sends them very far. It's a great combo ender
That's
with
dope.
Punisher, kind of mid-range footsie tool.
Could you almost use it like zoning too?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Keep
kinda.
them in, keep them out.
Doesn't
EX
go
version-
full screen.
Not full screen, but the EX version goes even further and will destroy projectiles.
Okay.
Okay.
Man, he's just tearing up the ground.
So I like that move. That's the thunderclap from the show. So it looks like base level is okay because it's knocks you down, knocks you away. He can do that with his normals. He really don't even need that. The beta version I like. That's almost half screen, and then Pete they say it destroys projectiles. So I think the whole point of that little thunderclap is to counter projectiles. Like just off rip, you throwing jet out, clap, clap. I like that. Hey, I like that. Let's keep going.
Everything he does.
He also has this big charge mover. He literally just like charges in with his chest. And we've all learned in the 90s in N64 wrestling games that if you put your chest
Yes.
out, you're blocking moves. So he can just barge in. And the EX version has armor. So this is kind of as advancing. You think they're going to do like a projectile. You want to get in.
Okay.
Kind of similar to like a Johnny Cage Shadow Kick. Another
See what I'm saying? It don't remind you of the Johnny Cage Shadow Kick, but that seems to be like a straight heat seeker. Like she said, you're blocking with your chest. I mean, you probably can't fight back with normal, so it's probably just going to run him over, which might be his actual wake-up option. So I kind of like that. And again, it goes towards you. That's deadly.
special move he has that, and you'll see this, being able to close the gap is a reoccurring theme with Omni.
Gotcha.
Because he wants to get in there and punch.
Exactly. Torpedo move. A
Nice.
superhero classic. He can do this in the air and it actually goes downwards.
Bounces you?
To pop the opponent up. Another move great for just full screen. At any moment, you can see it's very, very quick.
Okay, okay. That punch move, it looks punishable on block, but Peep, she said it's full screen. So at any point, he could just fly all the way to you. That I'm going to mark on the questionable list. I ain't going to lie. Like, it's cool looking, you know, but man, I don't know too many characters that can just be full screen and just get to you, like with an attack, like at the stand. That's going to be like Scorpion Get Over Here, but with the range at least. But man, that's kind of questionable, you know. I don't know. It look kind of annoying.
So this is interesting, though, because if you do it on the ground, you're not following up.
Correct. But if you do it in the air, you get to pop out.
Very cool. I also really like how the blood from his opponent gets onto his costume. It's pretty awesome. Like I know that we get blood on everybody,
Sure.
but for some reason on him it just looks real cool.
It's just kind of iconic with him, you know.
Yes. So then let's go over his most interesting special move that I think really sets him apart. The Viltrumite stance.
Okay.
So it's down back 3, and he starts hovering in the air. And from here, he has 4 different moves, plus a bunch of mobility options. Let's start with the mobility. You can cancel it, but you can also warp forward
Oh,
extremely quickly. And again, he can do this.
Keep. That can be done full screen. Okay. I was thinking when I first saw the Viltrum stance, it was only able to be done on the ground. He can do Viltrum stance in the air, which matters because let's say your opponent's waking up, they're doing something crazy. You jump up Viltrum stance. You have the option of where you want to get behind them. You want to fight directly. That's kind of crazy. But the part where I think it's meta, like it's really going to be like that move, is peep that they did that from across the room. So let's say, you know, Omni-Man knocks you away from him. You can't really get to him, but he's like music. He can touch you, you can't touch him. Oh man. And from playing Sub-Zero, but then enjoying Omni-Man for the time being until they, you know, fix the game. Oh yes. Oh yes. It's time. It's time. Yes.
In the air like all of
Oh
his
yes.
special moves.
this is pretty awesome.
And we'll go over his moves. The first, I think, is one of the key moves, which is this grab. And this is like his main combo starter. You can quickly go
Okay.
into it. You can even go into it off of the low I talked about earlier.
Just dragging people in the dirt.
He also has this move where he zooms across super, super fast behind you. That's a great combo ender. It's a great check. You think the opponent might try to like throw something out when he's in the stance, you can quickly go into it.
That looks like a cross-up. Like it looks like he hits you from behind you. And I don't even know if you can be able to hit him while he's in that flying state. It's like they made a stronger version of Natara. It's like they took Natara's base set and mixed it with like Superman. I'm digging it though. Like they really evolved the flying characters because I remember Hawk Girl in Injustice. I didn't like how she played. She's like okay-ish in my opinion. But Omni-Man, y'all doing y'all dang thing. You feel me? Y'all doing y'all dang thing.
He also has an overhead from anywhere on screen. He drops down.
So it tracks.
Exactly.
A heat-seeking full-screen overhead. Y'all thinking Stomp? I'm thinking of Dudley's Corkscrew, where he go out the screen, come back down, and it's an overhead? Possibly combo? Possibly?
And then lastly, a big anti-air uppercut. And zooms across and then covers
He
all the
don't even
upward
need
space.
that.
So it's kind of like the upwards version of the zip behind you.
I like that's my
I
favorite.
just love that spine break.
It's so cool. I like the facial animation. So then the question is, how am I supposed to go into this stance when you're doing projectiles, you're doing long-range normals and all that? And
That's a question.
He's just vulnerable floating there, right?
Well, I don't think
Wrong.
he is.
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
so.
no.
What do you mean?
So in Viltrumite's stance, when he does it, he's immune
Bro,
to all
what?
fireballs. They will literally just pass through him as long as he's in it. And that includes in the air.
That's
In the
that's some
air.
of the coolest stuff I've ever seen.
It's definitely
It's
awesome.
pretty awesome.
Just dodging.
The EX version starts up faster and also makes him immune to normal attacks as well.
Okay. Here's my thing. I love what they did. I'm just curious. She said all normal attacks. Did she be just highs, or is that highs and mids, and also trips? Because I want to know if trips considered special. Because if he's just completely invulnerable and you can hold that, do you know what the type of trolling people are gonna do? Like, people are already playing Johnny Cage. I could see potentially Omni-Man will probably outnumber Johnny Cage eventually. Like, the way it's looking, like everybody's gonna probably stop playing Johnny just to play Omni-Man. Like, it's like a better, man. This is too much. And then peep that she said when you're in the air, or when we use the meter version of this move, it starts up faster. So if you were gonna cut it off to prevent it, I use meter. You're not gonna stop it. I'm just gonna bait you and then go into a combo.
And then he can go in and punish them
That's so cool.
as they're recovering.
Finding times to use that's gonna be really interesting.
Yes. And again, he can do that in the air. The EX version is very, very quick.
It's gonna be
You
embarrassing too.
it is very, very, very
That's
cool.
awesome. I love it.
And then lastly, for his mobility, he has a unique air dash. This actually has a physical hit attached to it. It doesn't
No
just
way.
pass through the opponent. So you can see he spins the opponent around for a free hit. And you can
Bro.
do two as long as you have meters, so you can do stuff like
Bro. Bro, hold on. Okay, I just saw two things that where I'd be worried. Because this is something they do in anime games. People that play Mila Rage from Guilty Gear Strive, y'all do this. Peep that he jumped and attacked you, right? And then he switched sides. So let's say they up block the first kick. I hope that they thought of this before this, but I hope that they made it to where if they block it, he can't cancel that. If it's cancelable, he can completely bait out up block. He'll make up block completely useless. He'll literally hit you, kick you, go past you. You'll be stuck in block animation, and he's going to land and hurt you. But I'm also seeing that he can basically do a double overhead, what looks like a double overhead, because I'm assuming the dive punch is like an overhead. So let's say I do jump kick, dive. That's two overheads you have to deal with. So you have to fear, basically if I get in the air, it's like the air is his. And then they also said that this move, when it goes forward, is considered a hit. It's not just an animation. Man, he gonna be king of the skies. He ain't gonna be messing
do
with him.
some really cool flashy combos. So you can use that to get in, you can use it to get out, and it'll always have that physical hit. So again, to recap that, if you just do it for the first time, it doesn't take any meter. But if you want to do it twice, like in a combo like I showed,
Right.
it's going to take a bar. Similar to how Notaro works.
Very cool.
So I think in general, Omni-Man's a pretty simple powerhouse character to play, but he's got great mobility
Hold on one
options.
second, yeah. Let me see something real quick. Goodness gracious. Why is it? Whatever. I was wondering why it was so blurry. I just couldn't do that. Sorry about that. We're gonna continue as program.
Great offensive ability, and I think the Viltrumite stance is going to be super, super interesting to
And
see.
people sometimes, like, of my level probably, when you hear stance, you get a little scared. But his stance is actually not it's not your
No.
typical, like, it's not that hard to use, really.
Right, it is not really hard to use, and he was not meant to be. He is
Right.
meant to be like, just like you see on Invincible, he is just he's just tearing through people effortlessly. That's exactly what our design team went with, and I think they really nailed
It shows, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Super cool. I love it.
yeah, I think he's going to be really, really cool. So would you guys like to see Tremor?
I think we would.
Now we're gonna get into the Tremor section. My thoughts so far, I'm really happy with the way they designed Omni-Man. I didn't expect him to be this good. I expect him to be, a like strong, fast. But he's got like mind games, which I'm definitely gonna have to lab once I have the time to play with it. But when they said they designed him to be easy and just mow people down, I feel like people ain't gonna like that. I mean, I'm gonna play Omni Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna completely probably kill 90% of the Johnny Cage players out there. I mean, I already get Johnny Cage some of the time with Sub-Zero, but this is gonna be I'm talking 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 matches. Omni Man gonna come out on top at this rate. But you know, let's get into Tremor.
Good.
You know what? Let's just save it for another day, Raven.
Just save it?
Just save it for another day.
I'm gonna vote yes.
All right.
All right,
I'm
I
swayed.
guess
Okay,
we'll do
okay,
it.
all right.
So Tremor's one of the most interesting cameos in the game, and I can't wait to see our players use him because he has more moves than any of the original roster cameos.
Okay.
Let's see
12.
how it works.
Let's
12
do it.
moves.
Let's do it.
So we all know Tremor debuted in Mortal Kombat Special Forces, but he really made his big playable debut in MKX.
Correct.
Where
Yep.
he had
Correct.
3 variations.
Yes.
And that's something our design team wanted to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually go Aftershock, Metallic, and Crystaline, and he has a different set of moves in each stance. So I'll show how it works.
Okay.
He starts with Aftershock. You can even see in his life bar, and he's like the brown, rocky, kind of traditional looking clobbering time Tremor.
Right.
So he has 3 moves when he's in Aftershock. He has his Rock Punch. It's exactly what you'd expect.
A little knock
Lunge
you
and
off.
punch.
Comes in,
Yep.
it's safe
Knock 'em
on
off.
block. It knocks you away. You can use it to end your strings. He also has Up Punch, which is a pop-up
Combo
string.
extender. Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure he also had in
In
MKX. Yes.
And then
Yep.
lastly, he has his Ground Pound, where he comes in,
That looks like a
goes
trip,
low,
a double trip.
and then pieces out.
That's what's
so
up.
if you have a really good overhead, for example, that
You could just
for example, maybe
pressure
you have
to
a
a hard
mid-screen
block.
overhead that's almost instant. You can also have a mid-screen low that's almost instant,
So good.
which is pretty awesome.
And that's just a knockdown. Hard-
Exactly,
yeah.
right.
And so you would say Aftershock. He's sort of the attacker.
Yeah,
The
I would say
offensive
it's,
one?
it's
Yeah.
offensive. It's pretty basic. It's the most kind of standard.
The fact that's a launcher is
Tremor,
insane.
Right.
Kind of the one you, like base, which is why it's the default one.
Right.
So then, at any time, you hit R1, and he'll come out and he'll cycle to the next one, which is Metallic. Now he has an entirely new set of moves, and they're all lava based. He has his Lava Burst, which
Okay.
is like your mid-range, safe kind of.
Technical difficulties. Hold on 1 second. Why is doing this? Hold on. Okay. Checking. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
There's no reason not to use it.
Right.
He has an anti-air Lava Burst.
Okay.
And then this is really, really cool. He has this bowling ball, which is a low.
That's a
And
trip.
if you hold it, it becomes an overhead.
Okay.
So he's got
Hey, I like Metallic. Metallic is like a mix-up variation. So he got a full screen trip and a full screen overhead. That being a full screen overhead with the arc means you're not gonna be able to jump through that. It's just gonna hit you. I'm digging it.
kind of mid-range attacks, plus a 50-50 from full screen that
That's
you
what I'm
can mix
saying.
up.
Oh, awesome.
Again,
so then,
straight out of MKX. It's so cool.
right, and so then that gives you also zoning abilities
Yep.
or projectile if you have a character that is lacking that,
Exactly.
which is awesome.
Or if you have really good projectiles and you want to double down,
Double
on
down.
mix-ups, you can go that way.
Right.
And maybe you have like really great anti-air, and this can be a low that is going to make them want to jump. You know, you could put out Li Mei's lantern and then be doing this. It's just all kind. I think the creative freedom in the cameo system is the coolest part of the game.
I agree.
Can't agree more.
And then last,
A lot of people have been shading the cameo system. I feel like it does a good job of supporting the characters, and it's basically the replacement for the variation system that we had back in, let's say, Mortal Kombat X, like basically. But I feel like it's a little bit more fair this go around because rather than you're the character that has all the good variations, they kind of split it across the roster. So whatever Sub-Zero has a variation that does something cool, I can take it. I kind of like that.
lastly, one more stance.
Okay.
Crystaline.
People have been looking
Okay.
forward to this.
Yeah.
What does this do?
Ed kind of teased it, and I think a lot of people guessed some of the stuff he could do.
Yeah, totally.
So in Crystaline, he has 2 attacks. He has Crystaline Burst, which will reflect projectiles.
Counter
and then
zoning.
the big one, and a lot of people were like, "There's no way they're going to do that." We did. Crystalline armor.
What does that do?
So once he has crystalline armor, it's doomsday for the opponent. Oops, I was too slow.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So you gotta switch to
All right, here we
Crystaline.
go. So he's gonna summon the armor. And he will just absorb attacks like an absolute badass.
Beast.
So that is where I gotta draw a line in the sand. That is going to be crazy for people like Johnny Cage, Raiden, Baraka. That allows you to turn your brain off, essentially. It's basically screw neutral, and I'm going to walk through you. That is going to change Mortal Kombat 1 in its entirety. Because if you peep that, he just walked through one of the best strings in the game, which is Liu Kang's multiple kicks. And as a Sub-Zero, I'm finna have... Hey, Sub-Zero just got buffed. Hey, I just gotta say, Sub-Zero, you ain't got buffed yet, but when Omni-Man drops on the 20th, and they haven't corrected that, hey, I'm about to, yeah, people gonna take 50-50.
Right.
And so the way this works, the cycling is once you do the summon, like I said, it'll go through. And it goes in a particular order. And if you hold down in R1, it goes the opposite order. So you could go from Crystaline to Aftershock instead of and skip Metallic in between, if that makes sense. It's like recycling.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a skill cap
Yes.
on like people who can go back and forth and know what
Exactly.
you're doing. So like yes, they have a lot of moves, but yes, you have to be cycling.
Exactly.
You have to manage
always
that.
You're gonna have to manage the order that you're in because you cannot go straight from Aftershock
Okay,
to,
that's fair.
or sorry, you can't go from Metallic to Aftershock unless you go down, like you cycle back, if that makes sense. I just confused myself.
Okay.
But it'll make sense because there's only 3.
Right.
So
Right.
it's rather you want to go which order. And then there's a really, really, really cool twist, I think, really sets him apart. When you call him out, it's an ambush move, and you can transition into any of these attacks. So let me show you. Right now I'm in Crystaline. If I go to Aftershock and then immediately enter a back in R1, he will immediately, while still on screen, go into the ground pound. Like so.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
Or next in the cycle is Metallic. So let's say I wanted to do the bowling ball.
You can summon him, switch,
I
and
can
just
do it
throw.
that way. Or Crystaline. I can do instant Crystaline armor.
That's dope.
Interesting. Very cool.
So that means all of his moves can also be ambush moves if you commit to bringing him out, swapping, and then immediately doing the move. Now that's going to be somewhat risky. They can keep you out of it. You're going to have to be where you are in the cycle and all that. So there's a lot of risk and a lot of thought that's going to go into it, but it's
Hell yeah.
extremely powerful if you master the cycle. And I think it's one of the cooler mechanics in the game for cameos.
Excellent.
Very cool.
So that's that, huh?
I think we have one more thing to show.
what's
Okay.
His Fatal Blow. And the Fatal Blow attack that he goes into is pretty neat because, again, it uses his speed.
Okay.
You can see here.
Nope.
Is that a full screen fatal blow? I hope it's not a full screen fatal blow. Because that's what it looks like. That's
Yeah.
gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's pretty
cool. So early access for Omni-Man is on the 9th,
That's right.
and then
That's-
Tremor will be out later this month.
Yep.
And in addition to that, too, we will be having free trial towers as well. So you'll be able to try Omni-Man for free if you do not have early access for it.
Yep.
That's
and
what's
that'll
up.
be in the Gateway portal.
Correct.
Sounds great.
So they'll have trial towers, so you get to try them free. My final little two-piece biscuit on this joint is... So, I just got to talk about a couple things I noticed that was kind of interesting. Or just ideas I think would make the game better. So, we all saw that basically Omni-Man's a bully, right? I like the rush down that y'all added to the game. That's magnifique. Amazing. I just hope that in all the time you all spent designing Omni-Man, he's clearly been shown some love. I feel like adding more variations to all of the cameos would be pretty amazing over time. Let's say like maybe not the next month or so. Let's say 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. You all do a little bit of experimentation. Probably 6 months low key because it's probably gonna take a while with all the different characters and variations. But let's say that you all actually do that for all the characters, and like per season we get like another set for each character outside of Tremor, because Tremor's everybody's gonna obviously be trying to run Tremor. I feel like he might end up being like another Shijinko. Like people might only use Crystaline depending on how good or bad it is. But to ultimately say whether Omni-Man is broke or not, I just think he's well designed. And a lot of these characters in the game aren't completely broken except for Sindel. Sindel is like off the chart stupid with it. But I feel like they need to spend more time these next couple updates and actually work on patching the characters that are struggling in the game. Sub-Zero, obviously. Scorpion's even struggling right now, even though Scorpion has damage and I guess whiff punishes. And the way you go about that is obviously slightly adjust the moves, the damage the characters can do. But I think adding in more moves to the list you already have for free, that's going to keep people interested and engaged because they're going to have new things to play with. So that's my 2 bits. This has been MaskofTiers, thoughts and opinions of Omni-Man and Tremor. And if you want to skip ahead to my thoughts on Tremor or my reaction to Omni-Man, I'll have those down below. Till next time, peace.